Hello, my little potato chips. Paddy back again with another video too. Today I'm going to try and catch up. I've been a bad boy. So here we go. This is an open tag and it comes from a fella called J.O. Ventures Outdoors on the YouTubes. And he's a newish channel. And there's another fella who's done a response to it, which is Knife Delights. I'm going to put both their names down below in the description. They're both lovely fellas. They're into traditional knives. They're kind of into modern, but it's mostly traditional and a lot of older patterns and the likes of penknife patterns. That's what I love. I really do love that. So if that interests you, you know, modern, traditional knives, pop over and check the two channels out. They're two newish channels to me. Two really nice fellas. Just gentle, and they're just showing the knives. There's nothing pretentious. It's just somebody showing the knives, and I love it. So I'm the pretentious one because I said to him I watched his video and replied to it, and I said I would do it some of the pen knives, but I've collected an awful lot of pen knives, but these are probably my dirty dozen. It's a baker's dozen. There's 13 of them, and I thought I'd stop there because that's enough. I'm not going to talk about them all, but I'm just going to show you that, you know, again, this traditional side, there's so many branches you can down the road. This is my sub collection of pen knives. And when I say a pen knife, it's a two-bladed knife, one coming from either end. And to me, that's a pen knife. Now, a single-bladed one, yes, it's a jackknife, but to be honest with you, I would call it a pen knife anyway, even if it's just, you know, a small blade like this, or a small handle like this with one blade. I still call it a pen knife. If somebody asks me, what are you carrying? I'm carrying a pen knife. But traditionally, a pen knife is two blades coming from the equal end. I've got lots of single blade ones, but this is some of my favourite two-bladed ones. I'm just going to do a quick go over some of them just to show you the different era. This is probably from the late 18th century to 19th century, early 19th century. It was made in Chattaraugus, which is Little Valley. I think it's New York, Little Valley, New York. And this was the men that made this. This was before Case separated and gone his way. This was the gentleman who went into Case as a partner, and I've forgotten his name now, and I didn't write it down anywhere. I should have done. But there's a video up back in my channel, and this is a lovely little two-bladed knife. It's really sharp. I've got it sharpened up, and these wee knives are like scalpels. You talk about slicey, these are just little scalpels when you do them up. Some of them I haven't actually done up properly. Here's another one of my favourite. Look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? Benedictine, which is a French liqueur, I believe. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's aluminium, I would say. It weighs absolutely nothing. Two lovely little blades. And this is what's handy about them. I know they're small little blades, but let me tell you, they can do most of my day's work. I keep saying that all the time, but it is true. I love having these wee things. Having two blades is great, but these can get, and I've been carrying them more and more, especially if I've got sweatpants on, you know, or whatever you call them, jogging bottoms. I would have one of these thrown in it because they're so handy. In my pajamas, I would keep one. So they're just lovely nice. But this in particular, I think is so well done. Absolutely love it. One of my favourite. But I also, and here's a good alcoholic, I'm collecting the whiskies and beers. There's a Dewar's one. Isn't that lovely? It's just simple little knife, and it's Dewar's whiskey on both sides. Come on. Oh, it's really shiny. I think I need to turn that down a wee bit. There we go. That's a bit better. Can you see that? I think. There you go. That's it. It's beautiful. Lovely little knife. Again, you know, they're just little two blades. You'll have a small pen blade. This is in beautiful nick. I would say this is probably 70s, 60s, 70s Dewar's whiskey. It's not something you see a whole lot of. There we go. Lovely little knife. Another one. Here's one. There's lots of these for sale on Etsy. That's where I normally buy these. Over here in the UK, Etsy is probably the best place to get your older knives. But you have to be careful who you're getting from, because sometimes they send you out. They don't take very good pictures, and then they send you a bunch of nonsense out. It's just crap. But there's a few good ones, and I'll put my mate down below. I'll put his name down because he is good, and he's been very good to me. So, right, there we go. Oxbridge Lung Tonic. Things like this really get me. I love it for coughs and colds. I just think that is typical sort of 40s, 50s sort of advertising. Really, really funny. And it's just a collection that I take out every now and then. This is another special wee one. This is probably from the late 1930s, 1940s. This was a knife that was issued to the military, probably officers, because I can't see many of the enlisted men getting given penknives. But, you know, it's in pretty good nick. If it's sharpened up, it's like a flipping razor. Lovely little knife. And to know it's military, run, there you go. You'll get the little arrow, the upturns arrow, and the S&P, which is probably the maker, I would have thought. But a lovely little knife. Again, just that era of after the Second World War. And then this is Rickett and Sons. He makes, I see quite a lot of him. Rickett and Sons Limited. But this one is for Dettol, which is a detergent. I don't know whether you get it around the rest of the world, but Dettol's a toilet detergent, a bleach, you know, that sort of thing. And I've showed you that one. Let's go over to the other side. And these are some of my newer ones, these top four. This is, I've got into the Swiss Army knives. And these are some of the best these are modern pen knives. And they are absolutely fantastic. Like, look at that. That's a really substantial main blade. But it's great steel. And, it doesn't last forever. But it is a lovely little pen. Now, this is just with the plastic scales. I know there's a name for them, but I can't remember it. But I'm starting to collect these. And here's another one. This is in the Alux. This is the smooth Alux, just aluminium, I would say. Beautiful little penknife with exactly the same blades on them. But look at the difference in the thickness in them two. This is just a cracking. I've actually got a wee loop on this because I have been carrying this. And I've got wee slips for it. There we go. Victorinox do their own wee slips. Wee leather slips with red velvety stuff on the inside. And it just tucks away and that's in your pocket. I love this as a carry. I use it, put it away again. Really lovely. And I've now started to see some of these. Do you know when you've never really looked? I've just started looking for these now because obviously I'm collecting them. This is a Victorinox, but it doesn't have the cross or anything on it. But it does have it on the blades. You can see on the blade times. This one has the umbrella and Elinox on that side. And then it has the Victorinox on the other side. The 4-layer Victorinox. I'll get that. There you go. You can see it Ross Fry there at the bottom. So it's just a beautiful little knife. And it was obviously I'm not a watch person, but I would think it's a watch company who were giving these out at, whatever their meetings were or their conferences. And then I got another one, Yamaha organs, which I do know the name of, which is more for the rock industry. Yamaha, they seem to make a lot of the higher end. But again, just a simple little pen blade. And it's got that 4 stamp there. So I don't know, there must be a way of telling the age of these, but I haven't learned it yet. And that's the other joy when I've started this sort of collection. These are knives that I haven't learned how they actually tell the ages yet. And I'm not going to try and pretend. I haven't looked at a whole lot of them. This is one of my favourite. This was the year I joined the Navy, and it was the year of the Queen's Silver Jubilee. And I was in South Sea Beach. I was in South Sea Beach, drunk as a skunk on bottles of flagons of cider, watching the sail past of the Queen out in the Sound. It was absolute, not the Sound, in South Sea. But I had such a wonderful day there. I was still in my electrical training. So there you go. That was a lovely little knife. And it's a 2-bladed pen knife. Not Victorinox. This is a Richards. And Richards made an awful lot of cheaper knives. But back in the 70s, they were still making a good knife. This is a good pen knife. It works well. Bit of rub in there, but it's still got great snap. Well, nearly great snap. But it's a lovely knife. And it was the year I joined the Navy, so that's one that's sort of going to stay there. This is another one of my little favourite ones. This is just, it's like a malleable plastic. It actually bends. And this one I use an awful lot. This is one I carry about because it was in such bad state when I first got it. Snap on this is phenomenal. It's about an 8 pull in this wee thing. it was a big chip right out here, so I sharpened it right around the bend. I've showed this before. If you've seen it, just tell me to shut up. But it's a lovely knife. Listen to the snap on this. And I would say this must be the turn of the century or somewhere close around there. Still hardly a gap in it, and yet it moves. You know, you can actually bend the knife. Excuse me. It's not a light knife. You know, it's not just a wee whiffy knife, but I know you can definitely bend the frame. So there you go. There's 13. Oh, my little favourite, my new favourite. And I suppose this is it's a pen knife. It's two bladed, but this is the locking knife, the ring turn knife, and this one has got Mintex on it, which I take it was just the advertiser. But this is one you've got the little ring pulls, and I didn't know what they were until I watched another video, and it turns the knife out. Isn't that just gorgeous? It's a non-locking knife, but the little ring pull here, you just turn it, and the knife goes out. I just love it. And you bring it back in the same way. Listen to that snap. I don't know what era these would be, but I would say 50s, 60s, somebody can let me know. Mintex, I don't know what that is, but it's a beautiful little knife. Really thin again. Carbon steel blades. You can see the way they're patinaed on the inside. Stainless steel outside. But I just love this knife. If you ever get a chance to get one of these, the feeling of the snap, it's amazing. So there you go. Mr. J.O. Ventures Outdoors. Thank you so much for putting this wee video out. I love to get and show my little knives off. This selection here will probably grow. In fact, I know there's one more coming, and I'm very excited about it. But if there's anything on this little bunch that you would like me to do a video, rather, even if I've got one on my channel, I'll refresh it for you, and I'll do the finding out the details about the maker. So if there's anyone that you want to find more out about, let me know down below, and I'll do a bit of investigation, and we'll give you a more in-depth review of whichever knife you've used. So there you go. Take care, everybody. Paddy's away for a cup of tea.